In today's Leeds news, Strand Larsen latest info, Joe Piroe Rangers link, Lucas Perri interest in Turkey, and Ethan Ampadu new contract talks. Hey folks, welcome to the Leeds View Friday, the 30th of January with your Leeds United news. Hope your week is going well so far. We've got a bit of stuff to get stuck into, the ever-evolving. We thought this was over. Joe at Jurgen Strand Larsen deal to talk about, as well as Joel Piroe. We will have a watch-along for the game against Arsenal over on bigup.com tomorrow afternoon. You can join us there if you wanted. Predictions are open and available. The link will be down in the description for anyone who wants to get involved in the predictions. You don't even have to watch the watch-alongs to get involved in that. The pots are growing, so you can join in there if you want to. Also, we had the podcast last night. Myself, Andrea Russo, and Adonis Storr joined us to talk about the final transfer talk of this window and where we were. It was the evolving situation of the Jurgen Strand Larsen. If you haven't seen it, I'll be giving you a bit of a blow for blow anyway in the next couple of minutes. You can check all that out if you want to. And outside of that, I suppose let's crack on and get stuck into what has been an ever-evolving situation around Jurgen Strand Larsen. It's not done just yet, but we'll get into it. Let's go. Yesterday, as I say, this all looked like it was done and dusted, and it may very well still end up being the case, but there were significant changes yesterday afternoon and again this morning. I mean, the door is at least a little bit ajar for Leeds United to step in and try and get a deal done for Jurgen Strand Larsen. Now, whether any of us agree with the amount of money that's been paid on a striker that has got one goal this season is kind of irrelevant in this situation. Lucas Metch's injury shows that Leeds United probably do need bring in another target man as a backup option. Mitch said a couple of little niggles this year that have forced him to miss a few games. So that's the context to whatever we say in the next 2 or 3 minutes. But we'll give you a bit of a blow for blow on where this is right now, because it has changed very significantly over the course of the day. There's been conflicting reports, and there's also different bits coming in from Palace's side and what Wolves are doing. We're very much in domino territory at this point. But yesterday morning, Fabrizio Romano tweeted, "Here we go. Jurgen Strand Larsen to Crystal Palace, £45 million plus £5 million in add-ons." And then David Ornstein also produced a piece that backed up this as well. By yesterday afternoon, Fabrizio Romano had removed his "Here we go" message from his Instagram account. It is still available over on X, but that started people talking and questioning what's going on with this deal. Does he know something that we don't? Jorge Mendes was involved in this, which is never a good situation for anybody to be involved in. It usually means significant money is involved. The next update that we got came yesterday evening, and it came from John Percy in the Daily Telegraph, who said the Palace move for Jurgen Strand Larsen was in doubt after agreeing a loan move for Aston Villa attacker Evan Gussond. Now, this is an initial loan deal, but more detail has come out about that today again. So it's initially a loan with a £2 million loan fee. There is an obligation to buy, according to Rob Dorset at Sky Sports, of £28 million. The player is said to have agreed a £3-year contract with them. So at this point, that seems to be why they've walked away from Strand Larsen, at least currently. The bid, that the 45 plus £5 million bid, was agreed with Crystal Palace, but all reports state that they never officially submitted that bid, and that's where the confusion on this lies. BBC then gave us an update yesterday evening, and they said that Palace had communicated their intentions with Wolverhampton Wanderers to walk away from the deal, but it wasn't clear-cut still at that point. At this stage now, this is where the dominoes all start to kind of blend together a little bit more, waiting on the first one to drop for this to get going. AC Milan are now said to be the front runners for a move for Jean-Philippe Mateta at Palace after he rejected a move to Nottingham Forest, and that means that Crystal Palace may still come back in for Mateta. Gussond, as Andrea said last night, isn't exactly a like-for-like replacement for Mateta unless they're trying to play a different style of football. But again, that's not clear cut, because Milan's offer is said to be a loan move, and there are other reports this morning that say that if Mateta goes one way, Palace will look to bring Nkunku in on loan until the end of the season, with options for permanent moves there as well. Same with Mateta to AC Milan. This morning then, first thing, Alex Crook in TalkSport had a piece out, and he said that his sources have said a move for Jurgen Strand Larsen to Crystal Palace is off. It's not happening. So where do Leeds now sit in this current situation? Well, all the reports say the same thing. The Leeds United are still said to be at the table, still willing to talk about bringing in Jurgen Strand Larsen, but they will not be going any higher than the £39 million offer they've currently got on the table. Strand Larsen is said to want the move to Leeds United. His agent is a Leeds fan. There's a lot of talk around connections between Gabby Goodmunds and Erling Haaland also at Norway. The Leeds are trying to put in a structured offer of 39 million that will be spread out over the course of his contract rather than money up front, and that is due to Leeds' tight PSR situation. They just can't put 40 million on the table. Palace's offer was initially said to be a huge chunk of money up front. So Leeds would still like to buy the striker, but they're not moving from their price. And again, this might please a lot of people to say he's not worth 50 million quid. Going any higher would really look like a panic buy. But at this point, we'll wait and see. Now, Wolves, for their part in this, are said to be making a move for Torino striker Shea Adams, Scottish striker Shea Adams. So that could be a replacement that they're looking at bringing in now, which means this could be developing yet again. Reports have also stated that Strand Larsen likely has an exit clause in his contract should Wolverhampton Wanderers get relegated at the end of this season. And their best chance of getting some money back for him is right now. And that could be why they're open to moves. But their hand has been extremely weakened by the fact that Crystal Palace have walked away, if in fact they have actually walked away, because it means Leeds United are currently the only club in town. Now, Wolves have said today via the Daily Mail's Tom Colomoso that they are adamant that they will not be accepting anything less than £45 million for Jurgen Strand Larsen. If you don't pay that, he will stay at the club. But there are reports that say the Wolves need to sell. And if that is the case, then these might be the only interested party, and this will likely rumble on until deadline day. Now, anybody with any history with Leeds United will know Leeds going into deadline day, still trying to get a deal done, doesn't bode incredibly well. We'll likely wake up to Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Lucas Metzger being sold to Oldham. At that point, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. So it needs to get done. I thought this needed to get done before Wednesday if it leads to any hope of getting it done, but at the moment it still limps on. It's another Leeds transfer saga. It is likely to continue to moving. It is likely to keep developing. It is currently 11:53 as I record this, so it will change over the course of the day. If anything major or dramatic happens between now and the end of the day, I will jump on with some form of a live stream and give you an update. I'm trying to keep an eye on my screens here as well, just in case anything does happen while we're recording this. We did the podcast last night. Myself, Adonis Store, and Andrea discussed this at length. If you want to check that out, you can link it at the end of today's video. But that's it where it is for right now. So again, as we said last night, it's clear as mud right now. Whether we value them at 40 million or not, Leeds are not moving from 39 million. Won't be going any higher. Leeds don't have the money. Before someone says doing it on the cheap, Leeds don't have the money to put up front in the current PSR window. Leeds cannot afford a points deduction at this point, given how tight it is at the bottom of the Premier League. So that's that one. Let's move on then and talk about another potential domino that could be impacted by this should it ever happen. And it's Joel Piroe to Glasgow Rangers. Sky Sports Germany's reporter Florian Plettenberg last night tweeted that Glasgow Rangers are the top contender to try and bring Joel Piroe to the club this January above everybody else. There were other clubs in Italy mentioned yesterday. FC20 in Holland were also mentioned. Or Netherlands were also mentioned. They've been ruled out of being interested in him, so that one's gone. But this would all, again, be dependent on whether Leeds bring in another striker. If Leeds don't bring a striker in, Piroe doesn't leave the club. It's that simple. But Plettenberg claims that a deal will be easy to do between the two clubs because of the ownership model. Leeds are not the owners of Glasgow Rangers. They're a minority stake of 49ers Enterprises. That pool has a minority stake in Glasgow Rangers, but it will be an easy deal should they need to move him on quickly. But there's more context, again, to this. But Plettenberg's tweet reads as follows. Exclusive, Joel Piroe is currently one of the top candidates for Glasgow Rangers on loan until the end of the season. This would be the case if the Ryan Nadiri deal collapses definitively. At the moment, Hansa Rostock are saying no. 26-year-old striker Piroe is under contract with Leeds until 2027. Now, by all accounts today, the Nadiri move to Glasgow Rangers appears to be off. If Leeds, as I say, need to move Piroe on quickly from a wages perspective, then there is that option to move him. It shouldn't take long, as the memes go around Frag Morate shaking his own hand, negotiating Piroe's deal to Rangers. But Team Talk today have said that Joel Piroe is adamant that he doesn't want to leave Leeds in January. That's not going away. And that he would rather stay on the bench with Leeds for the remainder of this season than move to Glasgow Rangers, which is strange because if he does go there, he wants to discuss his future with Leeds in the summer. He can go to Rangers, still be a Leeds player, likely get his bonuses if he needs to get bonuses if Leeds stay in the Premier League. He'll absolutely smash it in the Scottish Premier League. He will probably become a legend very quickly up there because he'll kill it. Absolutely, he'll kill it up there. And then he can still come back to Leeds in the summer and discuss his options. So It's still there, but if Leeds don't bring in an additional striker, as we say, it won't happen. Team Talker saying that he is adamant that he will not be moving away from Leeds in this window. But if Leeds bring in a striker and they say to him, look, you're not going to be even on the bench for the remainder of the season, then he's got that problem to have to deal with. It might force his hand a little bit. Not that anyone wants to see him forced out the door. I don't. But again, as James Marshman has said in Team Talk today, he'll get his crack on Saturday because Lucas Metch is out injured. So at the very least, he'll be the second option for Leeds to bring on. Should we have to bring all our attackers on in the 85th minute at that point? Again, I'm joking. Don't get upset. We'll move on then. So this one came in after we have started editing today's news. So this is a bit of a jolt one just to throw in. And it's interesting, Lucas Perri. Also, just to give you a quick update on the Strand Larsen situation an hour after we recorded. Lyle Thomas at Sky Sports is saying that Crystal Palace are still very much trying to get a deal done for Jurgen Strand Larsen. So again, that's still going on. Let's talk about Lucas Perri then. And some news that's just broken this afternoon. According to reports coming out of Turkey today, there is to be interest in Leeds United's Brazilian goalkeeper Lucas Perri. In an exclusive, Ertan Sazgun, who's a TV reporter in Turkey, has reported that Besiktas have some level of interest in bringing Lucas Perri to the club. His tweet that has gone out this afternoon reads as follows. Exclusive, Brazilian keeper Lucas Perri, who wears the Leeds United shirt, has come to the agenda in the latest development in Besiktas' ongoing search for a goalkeeper. The translation on that one isn't perfect, but Perry's future at Leeds United still isn't very, very clear at this point. And Leeds, and whether Leeds United are ready to pull the plug on the goalkeeper at this point already still isn't known. This is very much a very early story, but Leeds would have Ilan Meslier as a backup option for Karl Darlow, as much as we probably don't want that situation to happen. And Karl Darlow would then likely be Leeds United's number one for the remainder of the season, unless Leeds decide to bring in another goalkeeping option. I know a lot of people would like to see James Trafford come to Leeds on a potential loan for the end of the season, but not being discussed right now. But it seems unlikely at this point of a transfer window that Leeds United would approve Lucas Perri to go. I mean, money talks in this situation. If Leeds can break even on Perri and maybe have another goalkeeping option lined up, even short term till the end of the year, maybe they do move. But maybe the keeper himself has been told he won't likely feature again for Leeds this season, has decided no point in hanging around. All of that information, by the way, is just me speculating. It's not exactly known at this point, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the latest one. We'll get to the final news story of today with Ethan Anthem. According to Team Talk, as an exclusive last night, they broke the story saying that Leeds United are preparing to open contract talks with club captain Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu has been getting better and better as the Premier League season moves on this year. He has been one of Leeds' top players and has some outstanding performances in the Premier League so far this season. Not just his ability on the ball, tackling, but also his very effective long throw, which has been a huge weapon for Leeds United in their attacking arsenal, pun intended. Ampadu's current Leeds contract runs until the summer of 2027, so Leeds will need to think about renewing that in the summer. But given how he's been played this season, Team Talk say the Leeds are willing to reward their captain and open negotiations sooner. But there's more context to this because, of course, there is. Team Talk say that there is several clubs interested in a move for Ethan Ampadu this summer. He's got interested parties in Europe as well as having interested sides in the Premier League. And Leeds are very aware of this situation and want to make sure that that doesn't happen and he doesn't go anywhere. And they're trying to lock him down to a longer term deal and give him probably a lot more money as well to reward him for what he's done for Leeds so far. Ampadu is viewed by Daniel Farke as one of the cornerstones of this Leeds United side. And when he's not in the team, you know exactly what you're missing from him. He's been phenomenal this season for Leeds more often than not. And Leeds are said to have absolutely no intention of accepting any offers should they even come in for him this summer. So as it stands, they're about to open contract talks. No, he's not the only one. There's a couple there. Karl Darlow's future needs to get sorted as well. He's out of contract in the summer. Lucas Metch, 2027, although if they're looking at bringing in a Strand Larsen, that's probably a longer term option there, just given a few of the niggles and injuries that Nemecha has had. But there's a few other players that Leeds need to consider offering deals to or selling in the summer. So there will still be an overturn of players this summer. Let's stay in the Premier League first and foremost. But yeah, there's still, as I say, lots of dominoes to fall on the Jurgen Strand Larsen. I still don't think it happens. My gut feeling on this is it doesn't happen. I think most people agree with that as well. Most people from looking at the comments, yes, they just don't think that this will happen. It's a huge amount of money. I don't think this falls into the bracket of we tried FC. I think Leeds have genuinely gone, that's what we have. There's the offer. Take it or leave it. That's it. We're not going any higher. The structure of the deal means that they're not trying to blow money up front, but it will likely keep changing. It's getting to that point now where things are changing nearly hourly at this point. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll see what the exits look like as well. Daniel Farke said yesterday in his press conference, this was an interesting line actually that he said. He was asked about the transfers and he said that The club are aware of what I want. He won't give any public statements on it because he believes it weakens the club's negotiation hands. But he said, yeah, there might still be space. So you get the impression that they still want to do something. And Farke's not saying that for no reason. Maybe he still wants something in. He wanted more attacking options in the summer. He's got Buonanotte in already this January. So we have done some business this January, but he will likely want at least one more in, and that'll either be a Jorgen Strand Larsen. There's no comments on the plan B. Yesterday we talked about why there isn't a plan B, because they see Strand Larsen as a market opportunity, as a longer term option for them, not just one for now. As they can't get it for now, they might go as they are, but I think they probably need one more. I think everyone agrees that, again, with Messi being injured, I think it's clear as day Leeds need to make sure they've got cover in case, because if DCL gets injured as well, there's a massive problem. So that's where we are right now, folks. We'll see how it goes. Again, lots of moving parts on this, but I'll update you if anything happens later on this evening. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you later on. Check out the podcast from last night down below here somewhere, and you can click subscribe to the channel if you want to help us get to 80,000 subscribers. Outside of that, have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. See you later.